The story opens with Caine stumbling upon a horrifying scene. A priest is being brutally attacked by 4 bandits. With his dying breath, the priest grabs Caine's hand and begs him to fulfill one final wish. Return the holy chalice the bandit stole to the Church of San Blas. Only then can he rest in peace.
Find those men. Return the chalice to San Blas.
The truth is, Caine could have refused. The priest was a complete stranger, and this wasn't his responsibility. But as a Shaolin monk, a promise made to a dying man is one Caine will never break. After burying the priest, Caine takes the man's mule and necklace back to the Church of San Blas. There, he meets another priest and learns the full story. The holy chalice originally belonged to the Church of San Blas. Fearing the growing number of bandits in the region, the clergy secretly decided to move it to a safer location. But during the journey, the convoy was ambushed. The priest Caine met was the only survivor, and he lived just long enough to pass on his final request. After learning where the bandits are hiding, Caine sets out alone for their fortress, determined to recover the holy chalice. Meanwhile, another key figure enters the story. Captain Luther Staggers arrives at the local post office to collect a Gatling gun that has just been shipped to him by the army. But the moment he gets there, he's met with terrible news. The weapon was stolen by the very same gang of bandits while it was being transported through San Blas. Without wasting a second, the captain heads to the church to investigate. Once he learns where the outlaws are hiding, he immediately rides out, determined to recover his Gatling gun at any cost. By then, Caine has already reached the bandits' fortress. He finds them gleefully testing the stolen Gatling gun. Calmly, Caine asks them to return the holy chalice. He tells them the chalice is worth far more than gold. The bandits are immediately intrigued, but they completely misunderstand what he means. They assume the chalice is worth a fortune. What Caine is really talking about is the priceless faith and spiritual meaning it represents. Without hesitation, the bandits tie Caine up. They decide to take him to the priest in San Blas to confirm the chalice's value, while also demanding a ransom from the church. While most of the gang leaves the fortress, only one man stays behind to guard the Gatling gun. At that very moment, Captain Staggers suddenly appears. He quickly knocks the guard unconscious. But before going down, the outlaw manages to fire a warning. Even so, it's already too late. The captain has reclaimed his Gatling gun. Without a moment's hesitation, he turns it toward the fortress and unleashes a relentless barrage. He wants the bandits to understand exactly what happens when they steal from him. Cornered with no way out, the bandits decide to use the holy chalice as a bargaining chip, hoping to trade it for their lives. Captain Staggers agrees. But the instant they step out of the fortress, he opens fire. At that very moment, Caine appears. Seeing the captain betray his word, Caine immediately intervenes and knocks him unconscious. Then, he fills the Gatling gun with sand, jamming its mechanism and rendering it completely useless. When Captain Staggers regains consciousness, he discovers the weapon is ruined. With no way to fight the entire gun on his own, he's forced to swallow his pride and join forces with Caine. After Caine defeats the bandits one by one and recovers the holy chalice, the captain suddenly demands that Caine hand it over. He insists Caine owes him compensation for destroying the Gatling gun. To him, it's also become a matter of personal honor between the two of them. Caine refuses without hesitation, because his only goal is to return the holy chalice to its rightful home. Furious, Captain Staggers declares that once they return to San Blas, the two of them will settle the matter in a final duel. Back in town, the captain immediately hires the local blacksmith to forge him a heavy chain whip. Then he patiently waits for Caine's return. After Caine safely delivers the holy chalice back to the priest, Captain Staggers suddenly rides his horse straight into the church. Holding everyone at gunpoint, he forces the priest and the townspeople to stand aside and demands that Caine come out and fight. Not because of the holy chalice, but because of his own pride and his desperate need to prove himself the better man. In the end, after teaching the stubborn captain a well-deserved lesson, Caine finally fulfills the promise he made. The Holy Chalice is returned to the place where it truly belongs. Although the first priest made the grave mistake of taking the sacred relic, Caine understands that, in his final moments, the man wasn't trying to keep it for himself. What he truly wanted was the chance to make amends for the last mistake of his life. With his promise fulfilled, Caine quietly resumes his journey. No one knows his name, and no one stays behind to celebrate what he's done. But to Caine, keeping a promise is worth far more than any reward. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and join Caine on his next adventure.